Hello and welcome to another segment of the LPE Author Chat Series. I am Kimberly K. LaBoo, CEO and founder of LaBoo Publishing Enterprise. This month we have had our special Anthology Edition featuring authors from the soon-to-be-released book, True Wealth Starts in the Mind. And tonight our final guest to wrap up the series this month is Mr. Tony Stevens, and he penned the chapter, Mental Hygiene. Welcome to the broadcast, Tony.
Thank you, Kimberly. Glad to be a part.
Glad to have you. Glad to have you. So you wrote the chapter Mental Hygiene in the book, and your chapter was a little different because you shared a really awesome story in the book as your chapter. And so we're just going to talk a little bit about that, and we're going to walk our audience through that story, and you can share your great points and tips with them through the story. So you started your chapter out talking about a few months ago, you took your nephews to Disney World. You said you flew from Dallas, and so we know the drill, the two boys and their uncle in a car, and then the airport, and then a plane, and then the hotel check-in, and then settling in for the night. And you said for them, it was all pure fun. It was just fun for you too, but being the resident authority figure, dealing with two high-octane kids, you had a different job. So tell us about the beginning of that journey.
Well, what was fun about that, Kimberly, life's about making and creating memories. And we went to Disney, and when we returned, the story unfolded, and my mother said, "Did y'all have a good time?" They said, "We had a great time, Grandma." But the problem was, Uncle Tony made us take 3 baths in one day. And they were upset. I said, well, guys, it's not about how many times you bathe. It's about the management of your hygiene. Because you cannot have a good experience if you smell in a putrid way. In fact, it's funny. I was at Starbucks yesterday, and a guy sat beside me, and his mental hygiene was awful. And I was ready to go. Now, in life, we all manage our physical hygiene, but we fail to manage our mental hygiene. And most people have stinking thinking. That's why optimism is important. You cannot win in life if you're not optimistic. And so here, we have one life to live. And your hygiene is important. It's like you go down to any downtown area, you go in the library. You'll find there's a good migration of homeless. And there's always a stench that kind of remains because they come in and normally take what's called a monkey bath. A monkey bath is you get a little water, you hit this arm, you hit that arm, and then you do your private stuff. But the problem is you're dead steaming. So you steam. And the only way you can get fully cleansed, you gotta get fully immersed. You gotta do immersion. And so we're mentally, we have a lot of stinking thinking. We're bathed with the negativity of our past and our past feelings. And how you get beyond that, you got to immerse yourself in optimism and positivity. And so we teach folks, if you want to do better, you got to think better. And your mental hygiene is more important than your physical hygiene.
Yeah. I think it's funny that out of everything that your nephews said, that was the first thing that they mentioned about the trip was you made them bathe 3 times in one day. That's cute. So you talked about the fact that it was their first time on the airplane. It was pure joy for them, and they were a pleasure to watch. And there were no limits to the physical ability in flying. You talked about it being unshackled from the restrictions of land travel. It was a feeling of liberation and empowerment, a feeling that you were already familiar with. And so you shared that you had that same feeling as you made the transition from employee to entrepreneur. So share a little bit about that.
Well, you know, when I went from employee to entrepreneur, it allowed me to experience life differently. And you're in Maryland right now, right?
Yeah.
Now, about how long does it take to get from Maryland to downtown Charlotte, North Carolina?
I think about 6 hours.
See, it's funny you say that. If I take that same question to the place of wealth or affluence, they'll say 30 to 45 minutes in a jet. Now, I'll go downtown and ask the homeless. They'll say about 4 or 5 weeks walking. And the question, Kimberly, is who's right? Everybody's right. See, the vehicle makes the distance disappear. It's another question. How long does it take to cash for $100,000? Some say it takes 4 years, 25 grand a year, 2 years, 50,000 a year, a single year, a month, a week, a day, an hour, even a second. And the question still remains, Kimberly, is who's right? Everybody's right. The vehicle makes the distance disappear. So how do you bring your future to you closer? The distance don't change. How you approach it changes. The money don't change. It's how you approach it. That's what changes. I was in Alaska last week on a fishing trip. Now, if my only vehicle was a bicycle, my dream would have been possible. When I put planes in the picture, I put possibilities into my dreams. Trying to get wealthy on a job ain't possible. The dream is there, your vehicle has to be under the question. So when I went from employee to entrepreneur, it allowed me to go from walking to flying.
Wow. Okay. So as the trip went on, you talked about morning rolling around and the boys were bouncing off the walls. The second they woke up, they were ready for anything. But you told them it was bath time. You asked them who's first, Kevin or Jay? And they told you they took a bath yesterday. And you tried to explain to them that it was a new day and asked them again who was going to be first to take that bath. So they were not liking you too much about these baths. But again, as you pointed out, it was necessary. And so you talked about being a young adult living in poverty and living in America. You said it was in what is arguably the greatest country on earth and the greatest hour in the history of mankind. You felt like you were living next door to Disney World, but were not able to afford the ticket to enter the park. Tell us about that experience as a child.
Well, what happens, God is no respecter of person, but he does respect principles. And there are certain principles that are afoot. If I get on top of this building right now, and I say I don't believe in gravity, gravity is not an opinion, it's a principle. If I jump, it's going to grip me and I'm responsible to the consequence. And so here, in order to live this dream called America, you can stand next to a park and can't enter the park because you can't afford the ticket. And what happens is, Kimberly, there is no place in this universe where your dreams can come true outside of planet Earth. And on Earth, there's no better place than America to make that dream manifest. You can come from your bootstraps to wealth with a choice. In America, you can socially climb. And what happens if I ask you, for instance, Kimberly, you have real goals and dreams?
Yes.
Is there a shortcut to them? Yes or no?
Yeah, I believe so.
Can I tell you what the shortcut is, Kimberly?
Sure.
It's mentorship. Somebody to show you how to do it. Now you're on a straight line, you avoid the learning curve. And so if I am standing next to Disney and looking in, who's been there, who lives there, they can pull me into that environment. You gotta get someone like you to mentor. No, you don't know where to find a mentor, he or she don't know where to find you. You know, live your whole life standing outside of the park, never enter the park, because no one able to pull you into the park.
Yeah. Good point. So you wrote, taking your child to Disney World is like our Heavenly Father placing us on earth to dream and ask ourselves, why not? To ask it is possible. To ask, why not live your dream? Nothing is impossible with optimism. Like you were just saying, you said there is no such thing as a pessimistic developer. I like that. You should always ask, why not? God does not torture his children. Whatever you see, you can be. Your dreams are a picture of your finished future. What happens,
Kimberly? Here I have next to me a jigsaw puzzle. And I made mention in the story that my nephew took photographs. And with those portraits reminded me is a completed picture. This is a completed picture. That's your dream. What you seek, you can be. God don't torture his children. So how you make a puzzle, you take the finished picture, then you cut it up in pieces, and it becomes a jigsaw puzzle. Now you take the pieces and you reassemble them. So what God has for you, that's a vision that's there, but there is a responsibility for you to assemble it. I can take these pieces, thousands of pieces here. I can take one and put it down. I can take another one 2 weeks from now and put it down, and I will run out of time because life is time sensitive. Now, if I were to assemble a team of 50 people, and we all took the picture front of mind, you have to have a picture in your mind because your dreams got to be in front of you at all times. That's why you get a vision board and that. And then you say, we're going to all come together. We're going to assemble this puzzle. We can do it with quickness, with a team. What's wrong with most folks' dreams, Kimberly? They're trying to do it by themselves. And they run out of time. The most copious, abundant place of goals and dreams is a cemetery. Because we'll take too much time trying to assemble the dream in our heart and never get to it. And some folks will take this puzzle and they'll look at all the complicated pieces for building a business or putting the work in, and they say it's too tough, and they'll take the puzzle and they'll throw it in the back of their closet and never assemble it. If you throw it in your closet, then the vision, the dream ain't necessary no more. Keep front of mind, take responsibility. God's supposed to be like the ant, and ants always active. Like an ant, you can take a dream, you believe it, and you can achieve it.
Yeah, that's good stuff. That's good stuff. So back to the story. You said as you watched your nephews joy at Disney World, immersing yourself in their energy, you thought, if I had a caterpillar in your hand, if you hold a caterpillar in your hand and then ask, where is the butterfly? Its future is inside of it. But you also had other analogies that I want you to share about in that scenario.
What happens if you take a diamond? A diamond sits inside of a rough. The diamond is there. You have to take your responsibility and then take the rough away so you can experience the value of the diamond. You hold a caterpillar in your hand. You say, where is the future of that caterpillar? The butterfly's inside of it. You hold an acorn in your hand and say, where is oak tree? Its future is inside of it. And when God holds you in his hand, where's your future? It's right there inside of you. What you see, you can be. But you got to plant yourself in the right soil of opportunity to manifest what's there. You take an acorn and put it on a shelf for 10 or 20 years, its future will never open up. It will die in seeds. We sit on a shelf of fear and doubt too long and let our dreams die inside of it. It's there, but we got responsibility. Our dreams and goals are time sensitive. We don't have forever. But you got to believe it. That's why mental hygiene is important, staying optimistic, so I can keep myself believing what God has for me is for me. You don't talk to children. What I see, I can be. And what God does, I got up this morning and a sensation hit me, Kimberly. It was thirst. That was God saying, son, drink something. If you ignore it long enough, you can dehydrate.
True.
I satisfied my thirst. Another sensation hit me. That was hunger. God said, son, eat, or you could eventually starve to death. And that dream that's stirring your heart, as God said, son, I got it for you. It's for you. It's for you. But I can keep ignoring it, and it'll die right inside of me. And so that pull in your heart, you can go after your future. You got to say, look, it's for me. I got a responsibility. I got to plant myself in the right position and nurture my dream so I can live my dream.
True, true, true. So you said after lunch, after we ate lunch, a corn dog at Magic Kingdom, they were whittling a little. So you went back to the room for rest. When you walked in the door, you said, who's going to take a bath first, Kevin or Jay? And of course, they protested, saying, we took a bath this morning. You said, that's fine, but we can't ignore the fact that y'all stink. Who's going to bathe first? Because you're not going around with me smelling like you've been wrestling all morning. So no, you have to take a bath. So here you go again on them with these baths. So you said you were cleaned and you rested up, and then you went to the park again. Like, I want to know where you got all that energy from. As soon as you hit the ground at Disney World, they were right back at it again and picked up where they left off immediately. It was like they had never been tired at all. So you say you thought about how easy it is for dreams to disappear. for optimism to vanish, even though their promise is always there waiting for us. The promise is always there waiting for us.
You know what happens is, that's why there's a time up front. You gotta respect time. And right here, Kimberly, here's a good example, right? Because a lot of times we'll sit and we'll think I got forever, but you don't. Your life is time sensitive. This is a ribbon here. It's 1 to 100. Now, the average man lives to age 75. The average woman lives to age 81. So if I take this ribbon here, Kimberly, and I put my thumb on 75, and I tear it right there, it's a good chance that most men are not going to see this part of the ribbon. Now, I look real young, Kimberly, but I'm really 53 years old. I know it's kind of shocking, but I'm 53. I'll show you my ID later, all right? If I take here, put my thumb here on 53, and I tear it, I'll never see this again. That's behind me. That's what I got left. And what I got left is what I got left. And the question is, how much impact have we made on the world with the time that's behind us? So if that is gone, I can't change yesterday, but I can embrace the moment. True. I can take this time here and say, how can I be the most impactful on what I got left? And so sometimes we'll sit back and we'll ignore our dreams, and we keep ignoring our dreams, but our life is too time sensitive. So how can I make the max here? And what's crazier, Kimberly, somebody died at 52 today. Because that ribbon don't mean it's promised. Someone just had a major accident at 53 today, and they're not physically capable anymore. So it has an urgency in now. What you got left is what you got left. How can I live every day to create a memory and make this the best day of my life? God's word, God gives us a present every day. This present moment is a gift. The present moment, God gives it to us. So the question is, what am I going to do with this time that I have? Because what's behind me, I can never see. I will never be 51 again. True. What I got is what I got. And you can live life every day. Make America your Disney park. Enjoy it. Enjoy the rides. Smell the roses. Whenever I travel, I always sit by the window. I want to enjoy the journey, not just the destination. And what happens, Kimberly, happiness is in anticipation. When I go on a trip, I'm so excited about getting ready to go. When I get there, I know I'm going to take a nap. The joy is in anticipating getting there. Yeah. Sometimes we're always hoping to live, and we never live. So you want to make sure you enjoy the present moment, because what you got left is what you got left. Life is too time sensitive.
Yeah, so true. I'm gonna enjoy my time. So you talked about the afternoon at Disney World seemed timeless as the boys made their way through the complicated landscape of attractions. And as we wandered, you said, I found myself picturing a maze. So talk about the complicated maze and your theory on that. The rest of the story.
What happens is you go to any amusement park. See, man is trapped inside of time. Time goes forward and backwards. Eternity is all encompassing. Now, so if I'm in a park, I can just see what's around me. I can be stuck in one side of the park and think that's the whole world. You can be in your city and think that's the whole world, and it's not. Right. What's crazy, see, man is stuck in time, but God lives outside of time. So think if you can leave the park and sit above the park. You can see the beginning of the park, the center of the park, and the end of the park. God sees your whole life from beginning to now to the end. That's why your dreams are a picture of your finished future. It's clear to God, but we're stuck in time and we get in fear and doubt, and we can sit in the middle of the park and afraid to cross the bridge. That's why you got to be optimistic about your future and trust what you see you can be. If you see it, be it. Anything about man has been done again and can be done better. God says our faith is impossible to please him. It don't take faith to do what someone else has done. That's imitation. It takes faith to do what you've never seen before. So whatever you see, trust that vision and go for it. Go for it. Every human being has a different dream. That's God's gift to you. And your thank you to him is to complete the dream before your ribbon runs out completely.
Wow. That's something to think about right there.
And what happens, Kimberly, you know, in life, what's crazy here, I'm going to show you something, Kimberly. God is no respecter of persons. You hear me? Mm-hmm. This will make it clear here. God gives every man and every woman a purse of 24 hours daily.
Yeah.
He gives Oprah Winfrey how many hours?
24 hours daily.
Bill Gates.
24 hours daily.
He gives all the same purse. God is no respecter of persons. Now, this time is a currency substance. So I take my 24 hours and I exchange it for money. So you go to work. I'm going to give you my time. You give me money. Now, when I give money, I then can buy my time back. So I don't cut my grass, Kimberly. It's a waste of my time. I take some of my money and I pay somebody for that. I don't work on my car, Kimberly. It's a waste of my time. I pay somebody for that. And so if you get money in abundance, then you can buy your time back. Now, if I go down to Walmart, because time is a currency substance, God's no respecter of persons. I go get 2 buckets of food, of groceries. I say, here is the payment for the groceries. They can't use my time that way. So I got to take my time and go on a job and get money. Now I take my time and trade it for money. Now, if I go to Mexico, they have pesos. It's currency. And I can shop till I drop. I have enough currency in the form of pesos in Mexico. I leave Mexico and come back to the United States. My pocket is still loaded to bear with currency in the form of pesos. I go down to Walmart. My pockets are full flush with currency, pesos. Go to the counter and give them the pesos. Will that work?
No.
They would say, go down to the currency exchange. Trade the money in the US dollars. Yeah. So God gives me pesos 24 hours. My job is to take it to a job and work and trade it for money. Now I got currency. So then I take the money and I buy my time back. I thought I have enough money, Kimberly. I said, I'm gonna take this portion of money. I'm gonna buy my 24 hours back. Now I have time and money. Now I can live this dream called America. Wow. That's why you gotta learn how, and life is so time sensitive. If a man go out and take 8 hours and trade them for $10 a piece, you got 80 bucks. So he takes 8 more hours, now he got 160 bucks. If he can sell all of them, he got 240 bucks, he'd kill himself. You gotta learn how to work. A lot of folks say, well, you work hard to win. Well, that's an ingredient. My forefathers were slaves. They worked hard, they didn't win. They learned they didn't win financially. You gotta learn how to work. And so what happens, you learn how to work, now you get, you put a team together. You get a team together, like I mentioned flying earlier. It's harder to take a bicycle than to fly. Yes. That's why there's a pilot on board, the steward is on board, they got a team around it, make that thing work. On a bicycle, I'm pedaling as hard as I can. Now, if I'm working in isolation, I'm riding a bicycle through life. If I get a team, now I'm flying through life. Now, like a team around me, now I can buy my time back. Now I can start living like I'm dreaming. You got time and money. Because life is too time sensitive to keep playing around. You wake up one day and it's over. So how can I live like I dream? I want to make sure I can redeem the time. And time, I promise you, if you don't want to, you go to Walmart, the Walmart family said, waiting on second groceries is a waste of my time. I'm going to pay somebody for that. They say, imagine the store wasting my time. I'm going to pay somebody for that. They got a team around. Life's a team sport. Either you're on a team, you don't have a team. Now, if you have a team, you pay them to do your work on your team. Now you get a chance to get your time back and live the dream. You got to have a team, right? And so when we were with my nephews, there were a lot of lessons in life because we had enough resources. We can go and get our time and go and enjoy the park.
Nice. Nice. I love the analogies. I love all the props. Bring it on home. I love that. And so your story was coming to an end, and you said everybody was tired, and so they were all sweaty and wilted, and you got back to the room, and what did you ask them?
Who's gonna take a bath first? Kevin or Jay?
We'll take that bath first. And so you talked about them being, focused on having as much fun as they could, but they were not worried about, their hygiene. And you began to use that as an analogy about your stinking thinking and your being mentally musty. So when you were thinking about them and their physical hygiene, you talked about it being hard for you to see how good mental hygiene is a foundation for your ability to make your dreams become a reality. So talk about when you realized that you had stinking thinking and a musty mentality.
Well, what happens, if you think about it, say you and 5 of your friends, you guys go to the gym, you get a hard workout. I mean, you guys put it in. Now y'all sweat equally and y'all stink equally. And y'all get in the car, you're immersed in the same stench. You're laughing, having a joyous time. Everybody stinks equally. But if you get out of the car, Kimberly, and you run up to your house, go take a shower, put your perfume on, come out, and get back in the car, it's obvious. You guys stink. And they're putrid, and you can't tolerate the stench.
Right.
Now, most of our friends are mentally musty. They're negative. And so you can be around a bunch of negative, mentally musty people, and you don't know it because you're all a negative and you mentally stink together. But you got to read a good book on success or go to a good success meeting. Now you got a mental shower. You're full of optimism. Your dreams are obvious. I can live big. I saw Joe winning big. I can win big too. I'm fresh. I got a good mental shower. You run back and tell your friends. Now they are mentally musty. They're going to tell you what you can't do, what's not going to happen. You crazy. And it's obvious. Y'all think you got stinking thinking. What's crazy about it, Kimberly, a lot of times we'll come take a good mental shower and get back in the car. Now it's obvious for a moment that they stink. As you sit there, it begins to be okay again. Wow. You get first back into the mental mustiness of life. That's why God's word says, forsake not the assembling together yourselves. You got to get around like minds. And y'all get a mental shower of optimism. I stay around them long enough, then I can't tolerate the stench. I was at my house yesterday, I talked to Tony in that background. There is a noise behind you. And I was looking around with the noise. I didn't hear no noise. It was a fire alarm batteries weak. It's been so long, I didn't hear it anymore. And you've been around a bunch of mentally musty folks so long, you don't smell them anymore. They're negative, you negative, y'all immersed in the same stench. That's why, like you manage your physical hygiene, there has to be a management of mental hygiene. Leaders are readers. You find you don't start changing your life, there is nothing more powerful than a made-up mind. You can make your mind up. Say, I'm going to start living a life of optimism. I'm going to read the right books, get around the right folk. I'm going to start. My son runs a mad call from 6:45 a.m. to 7:30 every morning. It's on optimism. To give all of his team a good mental shower. We get a physical shower, now we get a mental shower. Now let's go attack our day. You can't live a life of mental must. They want to live like you dream. Go around some folk I mentioned I was at the Starbucks yesterday. When the guy sat by me, I was ready to leave. because he smelled bad. His physical hygiene was bad. Now, if you're going to win in business, you got to have a team. Now, if you think about it, you're physically musty, nobody want to be around you. If you're mentally musty, they're not going to be around you either. So if you're negative, you're not going to attract positive people with a negative mindset. So you got to say, I'm going to take responsibility of my life. This dream that God gave me, life God gave me, I'm going to make sure I make the best of it. I'm going to manage my physical hygiene. I'm going to manage my mental hygiene. Because what God gave me, this dream in my heart, I got a responsibility. I'm going to hustle my mind like I hustle my life in my body. I'll start living like I'm dreaming.
Love it. Love it. Love it. Wow, this was an amazing story. And of course, we're back to the end where the trip was done and you were back. And then the grandma asked them how the trip was. And of course, like we said in the beginning, you told them, they told her that you made them take a bath 3 times in one day. So it seemed like the trip was amazing for them, amazing lesson for them, and also an amazing lesson for you. So what's your final takeaways for that trip that you want to leave with the audience tonight?
Well, my final takeaway, take responsibility of life. There are 7 billion people on this planet. You look at every face on this planet, you're going to find you one time. God did not rhyme his children. When he made you, he broke the mold. There is something special for you to do. Whenever the conservationists see a bird or an animal about to go extinct, they'll fight to save it because you can't duplicate its song. And just how that bird has something unique to bring, you start writing a poem right now. No one finished that poem but you. God put that in your heart. Yeah. What you got to bring to this planet, if you don't bring it, nobody's going to bring it. Embrace you. Be the best you. Like you wouldn't go outside and not comb your hair, not bathe, and not take care of yourself physically. Take care of yourself mentally.
Yeah.
Make sure you can get a good mental shower. Embed yourself in optimism and believe in that dream. Because if you don't bring what you got to the world, nobody else will. When God made you, he broke the mold. You it. So your physical hygiene is important. Your mental hygiene is also. Make sure you bathe yourself in optimism, bathe yourself in positivity, and start living like you dream. Be the best version of you.
Amen. Thank you so much for that. That was rich. Rich. And so I can't wait for our viewing audience to get a hold of the book so they can see the full scope of your stories. We touched on it tonight, to try to give the picture of the importance of mental hygiene. And so thank you for sharing that. Did you have any final thoughts you wanted to share before we log off? Because our time has run out.
Well, my final thought is thank you, Kimberly, and thank Lisa Jones for the vision that she had. I mean, she's a visionary, and I'm glad that she invited us to be part of this. She's a sensation. Thank you, and God bless y'all.
Amen. And thank you guys. Thank you so much to our viewing audience that has hung in there for this entire series of True Wealth Starts in the Mind with all of the authors or some of the authors from True Wealth Starts in the Mind. Stay tuned. The book is coming. And really, really soon. So just stay tuned to my Facebook page and you'll see it drop. And so you guys can run out and get it or pre-order it now if you choose to. But this has been an amazing series with an amazing group of people that dropped a whole wealth of knowledge. But there's so much more in the book. So make sure you get it, guys. Thank you so much for hanging out with us for another segment of the LPE Author Chat series. And remember, if you're someone who's thinking about writing a book, head on over to www.laboopublishing.com and connect with us there. Take care, guys. Good night and God bless.